So welcome, Stephen Farmer. So good
Hi.
to see you. You are the trumpeter for Miss Mack and the Daddies, as well as so many others. Um, who is your favorite band to play with, and why is it Miss Mack and the Daddies?
Well said. Wow, how did you guess? I
No,
don't really have to
seriously.
say much more than that.
You play a lot around town. I mean, I know that you play different styles. So
Yeah, it keeps it pretty fresh for me. I don't know, maybe I have a little bit of ADD and I like variety in everything that I do.
is that common for trumpeters? I mean, it seems like you guys are really
I don't know.
kind of type A, like go get them. You got to be really bold to play the trumpet. It's loud and it's either you're right or you're dead wrong. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess there's a difference between confidence and uh yeah, I mean, I don't know, like you said, I mean, you're once you can't hide that
no,
instinct.
there's no hiding. There's
But I don't
no
consider
hiding.
myself. I mean, you know me. I mean, I'm a pretty laid back guy, and I don't consider myself. I mean, I know some horn players in general that are a little bit more, exuberant and
Yeah,
brash. Maybe I'm not sure, but I try to keep it pretty low key, and
you are pretty low
uh,
key. I mean, you are. Is that how you are? I mean, I know personally, but talk to our guests about like, is that just kind of your general personality? Does that carry on
yeah,
off the
yeah. I've
stage
always been
too?
that way. Oh, pretty much. Yeah. I've always. I mean, obviously, you see me get on with other people such as Charles, and
Charles.
there's certain people that I definitely can rap with and get along with.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, look at those moves, man. Trained professional.
So what is Alex doing? Playing the guitar and the sax over there? Air guitar with the saxophone?
I don't know. Leland's in his wood shop.
Leland's always in the workshop. That's like his thing in the workshop.
So I mean, what do you do? I know that you garden. Obviously, we know that you play the trumpet. Like, is are you more of that like kind of low key, just hang out in the garden kind of a guy?
Well, I like to cook, and been known to enjoy a bottle or two of wine, and I know my way around a wine shop.
Okay, you've
It's
never
uh,
cooked for the band. We
yes,
may
I
have to
have.
rectify that.
Yes, I have.
Oh,
Forgot
that's
about our
right.
forgot about our
It was
cookout that
one
we had so
time.
long ago. So long
It
ago.
was. Yeah, that was really a
But it
long
still
time ago. We
counts.
haven't seen each other physically for over a year at this point, it seems.
Yeah,
Well, just about a
it has
year.
been long.
Yeah,
Yep.
just about a year. But you
Thanks.
had some, what was it you had? You had some peppers or something you were growing. How'd
Oh
those
yeah, the
ever
habaneros.
turn out?
Yeah, I'm still eating them. I've got that one.
Oh, nice. Wait, when you
Yeah,
say eating them, are you just eating them straight
yeah,
out?
yeah.
Where do those fall on the old Scoville heat unit?
They're more than a jalapeno.
Oh, yeah. Right. Which I know we just did a Lauren's libations will be coming up soon, and I want to say there's jalapeno in the recipe that
Mm,
she made. So I was
yeah,
looking, and it's
they're totally different. I guess
pretty
that's why I like
low.
them. Jalapenos are so green, and they can be hot too. But the habaneros are just so much more fruity, and
Hmm.
tropical fruit in there, and
Is it like a
they burn.
sweet heat?
Yes. Well, I think so. I mean, for somebody that has never eaten a pepper before, I wouldn't. They probably wouldn't think it was sweet. They would think more
Yeah,
of,
yeah. God
but
no.
I don't know. Yeah, you have to work up to it. Like I started when I was a little kid. My parents grew peppers in the backyard when I was young,
I
so
see.
I would start just pulling jalapenos off the vine and eat them when I was like 8 or 9, I guess. But
Nice. For those of
that's where it
you
all started.
just joining us, I'm talking to Stephen Farmer, our trumpeter, who is known to really like it hot. I will not personally be trying a habanero. This guy carries around hot sauce in his trumpet case. And is that at all times, I'm
Actually,
understanding?
most of the time, yeah. When I was on tour, when I toured pretty heavily, I always had something with me. You just
That is
never know.
so funny to me. Well, so I
So
know
that
that you get super hot and sweaty on stage, and I know most people are like into the drummer, but tell me, the trumpeters, like what is the feeling from the audience? Do you guys get the love too?
but yeah, usually somebody will reach out to you and be like, "Hey, man, that really really cool." And I mean, I've even gotten some compliments to the effect of, "Wow, you really touched me with what
Oh
you
wow.
played." And I'm like, "Wow, that's something."
No,
So
that's what's up.
it's always a good thing to hear, personally, because not everybody's got the balls to say that to somebody. And so
That's true.
I tell them that. I'm like, thanks for telling me that, because definitely helps out, and sometimes it can make your night.
I think the horns in general, people are kind of crazy about you guys. I don't know if it's because not everyone has horns or what the deal is, but I've definitely had some people be like, man, that trumpet player. I'm like, right? He's fire. So you've been practicing it for a little while, right? You didn't just pick it up
Oh
yesterday. How
yeah.
long have you been playing that
Oh
thing?
no 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 no. I mean, I've definitely maybe been playing. I maybe been playing a trumpet more than been alive, possibly.
Longer than I've been alive?
Yeah.
I will never tell. I will never
Yeah.
tell my age.
So we'll
So
just go with that then. We'll just go with that.
we cannot release that information at this time.
I can
Maybe
just
one day
say
we'll
it.
have a Wikipedia page or something, and then folks will
Yeah.
know. Was that the
Yeah.
first
But
thing you picked up?
anyways, yes, yes, yes. I just kind of knew from the start that's what I wanted to play. I had s- I had heard a few trumpet players growing up, and Herb Albert was one of them, and
Oh my
Albert
gosh, the Tijuana
from
Brass.
New Orleans. He was awesome, and so yeah, I just heard those guys and saw them play, and was like, that looks pretty cool.
And your parents
But yeah,
obviously let you stick with it. I mean, that had to be pretty brutal
no,
at
they
the
were
beginning.
my mom was, bless my mom's heart, and my dad, I guess, for putting up with me, but practicing and not sounding very good for the first
Oh my
6 months, I guess
gosh.
it was. Yeah,
Right? Yeah,
I
it's rough.
sounded like a dead goose for about 6 to 8 months, and then I
A
started
dead
getting it.
goose. Not a dying goose,
But
but a dead goose.
dying goose, yeah, no, not
Yeah,
even
I love
dying,
it though.
already
Yeah,
dead.
ooh,
But
I can't
anyways,
imagine.
yeah, my mom was great. She took me to all the practices, and it was just one of those things where um, I knew I had to do something other than just go to school. And
Were you a
I
private
really,
lessons guy too, or just at
oh
school?
yeah, once I got into it, yeah, I got into it hard, because I mean, I was pretty good. I was pretty much first chair, which is like
You're still
top
pretty good.
chair, and all the way from the time that I started, pretty much through high school.
Did
I
you
was
play in
second chair.
college at all, or?
Yes. Oh yeah, that was my major.
Okay, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I started off music performance, and then switched over to music business. Got my
I had
degree.
no idea.
Hmm. So yeah, it was just one of those things where I kind of always knew that that's what I wanted to play, and so came time to sign up for play, and the music teacher, Mr. Price, God bless him, he's not with us anymore, but he was
Oh,
this
sorry to hear that.
awesome old music teacher in Douglas County, Georgia.
Douglas Canny.
Uh, yeah, but he was doing the sign-ups, and so I went in to sign up for night band, which is like the very first band you sign up for, and it's
Ah,
the most terrible sounding band, I guess, in
is
in
that why they
public
do it at
spaces.
night rather than
I guess I don't know. But
right?
anyways, I have no idea, but I remember being in that night band for a little bit, and finally stepping up to the regular band.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they tried to sign me up for something else because everybody had gotten all the trumpets, because it's a pretty popular
Oh
band in the area.
no.
But I wasn't buying that, so I told them if they wanted me in their band, they were going to find a trumpet somewhere for me.
I
So
know that's right.
Mr. Price actually found it in the kindness of his heart to give me his
Get
personal
out of town.
to
Now, is
start
that the
off.
trumpet that you're
So,
still playing with today, or you've
oh
obviously
no no
purchased
no
one since
no
then?
no no. Yeah, I've been through a few after that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he finally got me that, and yeah, the rest is history, I guess. Better or
Now,
worse.
were you from a musical family, or was it just kind of you
No.
enjoyed music and?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, my folks aren't musical at all. Although it's funny because I found out, I guess around the time that I started playing, and maybe that's part of the reason I decided to stick with the trumpet, was I found out that my mom's father played trumpet in the army.
Hey.
And but he died before I was even born. He died when my
Oh
mom was
wow.
a teenager. So he had a
Huh.
store in Brooklyn. I had some relatives in Brooklyn, New York. He had music instrument repair shop in New York,
Wow.
and I ended up getting his old CG Con trumpet that was made in like 1920s or maybe even before 1920. I'm not sure. I still got
So
it.
just a little older than you then.
Yes. Fine. Thank you very much. Appreciate
I'm
it. All right,
teasing.
are we done? Gotta go. I think I'm starting to
Gotta
break up again.
go.
Remember that?
No, that's actually really cool. Finding out that history. You know, it's weird how things
Yeah.
happen like that. Like maybe that's why it was so ingrained in your mind that's what you were fixated on.
Yeah. Well, I just had my mind set on it for sure. And once they started suggesting trombones and tubas, I was like, nah, it's not as cool. Sorry.
Really, the trombone is super cool.
It is, and I wish I played more of it now. I can play a little bit being a
Can you
backup
really?
instrument, but I wish I played more. Yeah.
So I know like sax players tend to play flute and sax and piccolo. Is there a thing with trumpeters where like you guys can kind of traverse between trombone and trumpet?
I mean, once you get all the embouchure action, it's pretty. It translates to other instruments, but and I, it's definitely different. I mean, it's like I don't know. It's like difference between blowing into a thimble and a soup bowl.
I saw a trombone once that actually had the finger
Valves.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that
Yeah,
all
I
about?
could buy one of those. That's just a valve trombone. It makes it possible for a trumpet player to play a trombone without learning
I
slide.
see.
Yeah.
So I guess my last question for you would be, you're playing in all these bands, you went to school to study music. Like, what is your ultimate goal with the trumpet? Like, what are you hoping
I
it
mean,
will do
I
for
was
you?
there right before the old COVID came to town. I mean, everything was really, I mean, even
Yeah.
with this band, everything was kicking along, and my other bands, things were going great, and I was being able to, somewhat make a living without stressing about bills too much. So,
Right.
that's really all I ever wanted was, to be able to like just do music. But yeah, I mean, I moved here about 7 or 8 years ago, somewhere like that.
Okay. And
And
did you move to
I
Austin
moved.
directly from Georgia or?
Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. I had a list of places that I thought I might like, and Austin was one of those places. Where, like, hey,
Here
sounds
you
pretty
still
good to
are.
me.
So I appreciate you
Sure,
giving me your time. This has been a really cool interview, man.
you got it.
So I always wondered, like, what was her thought process with this pillow? It's like the weirdest accessory. Let me put a pillow on my lap.
Oh, I thought it was a polar bear blanket.
Okay. So for those of you tuning in, this is Hunter, the other half of Farmer V Hunter, otherwise known as Chuck. Chuck is the keyboardist. What should I call you, a pianist? How does one say that? Pianist?
I'm not even worthy to be called a pianist. I mean,
No.
no. I just
What
know
makes you
how to
feel that way?
I just know how to play. I in my head, I'm a songwriter that just knows how to play the piano.
That's
So,
very interesting. I didn't know that about you.
well,
How long? I say you wrote songs before you ever played the keys. I mean, how did that?
no, I actually started playing when I was 4.
No way.
Um, yeah,
Oh
yeah. Funny
wow.
story. Funny story. We had a piano. My dad bought a piano at home. You know, that generation is like, you know, you need a piano in your house.
For
Like you
sure.
need something.
Yeah.
That's kind of that generation. So we had a piano in the house. My sister's 5 years older than me. She was taking lessons,
Okay.
um, and he said I was just, one day we were home and I just would not let her practice.
Get
She
out.
wouldn't let her practice, and he's just like, you know what? Put him up there, let him play.
Give him
And
his
at the
little
time,
5 seconds.
yeah, and at the time it was like I think the Ray Charles Pepsi commercial, one of those, and And he said, I just got on there and started playing it and singing it. And he
Wow.
was like, that's the guy right there. Like that's my piano player right there.
Here he is. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But
you know,
yet
I started,
you consider yourself a songwriter though first.
I feel like I used to always I used to always make, from as long as I remember, I was making up songs, whether I told people about them or not. I don't
Right.
think so.
Was that the only instrument?
I've always loved the saxophone.
Really? Who
Always loved the
doesn't?
saxophone.
But
Always. So I had my heart set. You know, you do a middle school band, and you go in the cafeteria, and the H&H Music, that's what it was in Houston.
okay.
H&H Music supplies all of the, sells and rents all of the band instruments. So, you know, me and my dad go up there, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna get the saxophone. I'm gonna
Just
start playing
knew.
the saxophone. I just knew I was gonna, that was my heart set on the saxophone. And then, you know, I had never said anything about playing the saxophone.
Okay,
Never
right. I
expressed
mean, to
interest
them it's
about,
just of course.
never. But you know, I knew I wanted to be in the band. Um, so you know, saxophone's more expensive than the trumpet. So it was just funny that I feel like he was like, you've never expressed anything about playing the saxophone. Take this trumpet. You're gonna play this trumpet. And so yeah,
Interesting.
I went from not even wanting to, you know, do anything with the trumpet, and I played trumpet until you know, I was in the band, but I was also an athlete. So
Interesting.
yeah,
So Farmer was saying that he knew from jump trumpet was it. So this is so funny. You wanted the sax, ended up with the trumpet, and now have nothing
ended
to
up
do
with the
with
trumpet. Yeah, I tried to play a trumpet a couple of years ago, and it was just like, oh, I know everything, but it's just the embouchure. Just yeah,
it. Right, right. No, I
yeah,
can only imagine. I recently tried to play my violin, and it was a struggle
yeah.
after a few
So
years.
so you know, my life musically, I took some turns that I probably shouldn't have, and now looking back, that you know, my life now is pretty much based around music and playing music. Um, it's like I should have done more musically in like this peak window of time that I stopped playing. Um,
I
and
see
I
what you
feel
said.
like, yeah, I feel like they kind of hindered me. You know, I went a different path, went to school,
Do you feel
you
like it
know.
hindered you musically from a standpoint of like your abilities or just in reference to the time that you feel you lost?
I feel like I lost a lot of time, and it was a very pivotal period of time for um, music. It's like when I went to college in 2003, um, music started changing. Like a lot of,
Hmm,
you know, the style that people were playing and kind of um, gravitating to was changing as far as like the R&B was kind of changing at that time. A lot of neo soul was coming in.
significantly. Yeah.
So keyboardists were having a field day with
Mm,
this new genre of music. Um,
I see.
and while I'm in a lab studying cancer research and doing all this, where I thought that's what my life was going to be,
The path that you were going to
um,
end up on.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And everybody else is learning all this stuff. I barely played when I was in college. I would play when I would go home, but
Right.
that's 4 years of not playing.
It just wasn't your primary focus.
Yeah, that's 4 years of everybody else continuing on, learning, progressing, and then I get out of college and I'm
It's a whole new
like,
scene.
what is this? Yeah, like
Yeah. It's a
what's
whole new
going
scene.
on? So
What do you feel like then now? I mean, playing in a scene where really the music did, like you said, it kind of shifted and it makes sense because it was like we were coming into the 2000s. But like, what about now, 20 years, 17, 20 years down the road?
I'll always feel like I'm behind just
Really?
just because of those 4 years.
Of those
I'll,
4 pivotal.
I'll yeah,
Wow.
I always feel like I'm behind the eight ball. You know,
And there's no way that you can catch up at this point.
to me, no. To me,
Interesting.
no.
To those of you who have heard Charles play, let us know down in the comments. I mean, I think you are a lovely player. I obviously have a personal relationship with your keyboard stand, where I bump into it. I won't even say on occasion, like often. It's kind of like this love-hate relationship.
Yeah,
But for
for
those of
sure.
you who have heard Chuck on the keys, let us know, man. We love your playing, obviously. Let us know. And do you have any dreams deferred, folks out there? You feel like you've lost time? I don't know if that's
Yeah.
possible to lose time. I think that there's really no knowing what time will hold
Well,
or
yeah,
when you can start or end something.
yeah. Well, now you say that. I remember our first conversation, just strangers
Yeah,
talking, and it was just you were expressing how you were just starting this music
yeah.
thing. I was like, that's unheard of. Like what are you talking about? You just started. Like you didn't know you
I just
like
figured it out.
you didn't know you had this in you, and then
I
all of a
had
sudden it
no
just kind of
I
yeah.
played the violin, like you said, I mean, I was kind of groomed and moved in a way where my studies was the focus. I was more concerned with international travel and really just I thought I was going to be not necessarily a farmer, but I certainly thought that I would be involved in agriculture to
I
a
want
deeper
to
degree
add,
than I
yeah,
am today.
yeah,
That was what I was looking for. I'm hopeful that you can make up for lost time.
yeah.
I think you're the guy, man.
I keep telling y'all, I love what y'all are doing, and you always say, y'all, what are you doing, yeah,
Yeah, man. You're a
yeah.
part of this too. How long have you been playing here in Austin?
I moved to Austin in 2015, so I've been
Okay.
here, yeah, 5 years in September 2020 made 5 years I've been here. So when I first got here, it was weird because it's like the city is weird. I was searching for that sound that I missed for 4 years. I'm
Mm,
like, okay, I'm in Austin now. They say it's the live capital of music. Let me find it. So I I wound up stumbling in a couple of just straight ahead jazz sessions.
interesting. Okay.
And I don't consider myself a straight ahead jazz player. I love listening to it, but that's just. So I went to one of the sessions down at Brass House. When Brass House is still open. I don't know if it is still open anymore.
I'm not familiar. No, I don't know.
Yeah, and one of the guys was like, like we don't speak. He literally said, "We don't speak your language here." And I
Wow.
was like, man, like, whoa, is this the whole city? Because
Yeah,
I
where
hadn't
do I
met,
find it?
yeah,
Where
I hadn't
it's gotta be
met
somewhere.
anybody. I didn't know anybody here. So he's like, you need to go down to Dozen Street on Wednesdays.
Ah, the
So I was
butter and
like,
jam,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So I went down there, and some kind of way in between that week, I stumbled in on a blues jam. So I think Harold used to have a blues jam on Mondays or something. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so I think it was at Long Branch, over in Long Branch.
I've
And I
heard them
met
talk about
Oscar.
Long Branch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I met Oscar, who's like, you know, somebody that a lot of people meet and he puts together and things of that
It
nature.
does,
So,
man.
so I did the deal with Oscar for, man, I feel like we did that for a year. We had a little kind of experimental jazz deal. And Oscar's not a jazz player, so it
I
was
was gonna
more
say,
like,
was he on sax?
yeah, he was on sax. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. So it was kind of like it really was experimental. And we
that
met
sounds
a lot
cool.
of, yeah, we met a lot of new people like me coming in, transplants trying to meet each other and find new
Yeah.
people until we find our musical family. So it's kind of like a not a halfway house deal, but like kind of like,
In a sense, I
you,
mean, because I
yeah,
really think of it that way. I think of it as like houses. There's different houses or groups of musicians, like you said, that are,
yeah,
either specific to a genre or a venue or something that really vibe. It's your
yeah,
family.
yeah.
Yeah.
So then, I would do that on Monday. I would go down there and with them on Mondays, and then Oscar, we started a deal at Long Branch on Tuesdays. So we would do that. And then I would go and just kind of sit in every once in a while um, at
Hmm.
Dozen. And, met Dave, Manley, John Dees,
Okay.
ran into CJ Edwards.
Yes.
So I was playing, I sat in down there with Dave one night. And then um, D Soul
Yes.
Davis,
I love him.
yeah, he came in one night and he was like, "Hey, I'm looking for a keyboard player.
You sound just
You know
like him
how
now.
he is.
Stop.
So
Yeah, you sound like him.
I was like, you got original music? So he's like, yeah, I do original. So I started playing with him for a while. Met some other folks. So I was playing with D Soul, CJ Edwards put together a funk
The
fellowship.
Funk Fellowship.
So I
Yeah.
was, I was playing with him. That was a pretty awesome time.
I bet.
Yeah, just like a 12, 13 piece, funk
Good God
collective.
Almighty. It's
Um,
hard enough to get 7 people in the room at one time. I can't
yeah,
imagine.
so that was really fun. I was just at a point where, hey, I I don't know anybody. If you need someone, I think I'm reliable enough for you to call me.
Got you.
That's my standpoint. And then we have a collection of keyboardists in Austin, so
Mhm.
you know they without knowing me or hearing me play, some of them would vouch for me just to put me in places where I can get
Expand
on my
and
feet. Yeah.
kinda, yeah.
So yeah, John Dees, he found me actually the church that I play at. He got me
Oh,
hooked up with
nice.
them. I've been there since I've been here. And then if he can do gigs, he'll find me, call me. If I could do them, he'll
That's a
let me sit in
wonderful
for
thing.
him.
That's a
Yeah,
wonderful
Ryan
thing.
Howard is another keyboardist that
Yeah,
you're familiar with as
I
well.
know
So
Ryan.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it's just that network type of deal.
I think that's
People
a
just
beautiful thing, though,
yeah,
that it truly is a network, that
yeah,
if one
yeah,
can't do something that you call your brother, "Hey, I got this
yeah,
thing for you." That's a beautiful
yeah.
thing.
And I'll admit, every everything that I've set in on wasn't always peaches and cream. I've gone to set in for some folks, and I to me, I bomb because
Really?
people would call stuff that I really don't know.
Okay.
Try to pull up a chart for it or something. I'm like, oh, what? But that just comes with it's kind of like it's a more fast paced life when you're trying to get in.
I
When
can't
you're
no, I can't
taking
it sounds like
yeah,
sight reading times 1,000. Like, I
yeah,
just the anxiety that comes from that. New
yeah.
group of
So
people in addition to yeah, that would be
yeah,
pretty stressful.
yeah. Then you just after a while it just comes to the point where it's like, okay, I think I've established myself enough. So let me fall back, give myself time, find a stable, home per se.
Yeah.
Still pick up some things here and there if I need to, but you know, and then here comes along. I think he calls like the Daddy G show or something. I think I bombed that because
Oh,
it's
yes,
like
you are.
yeah,
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
I think I bombed that show to me. 'Cause I was like,
I bombed it. You know, it was still very new to me, and you know, I leaned very heavily on Leland and still continue to do so, really. So without him there, it was kind of,
yeah,
I don't
I
know.
think it was weird because like you said, that's the MD of the band and he wasn't there.
And we had the trombonist instead of, you know what I mean? It was so many
Yeah,
different
yeah,
factors.
yeah. And I was just like, you know what, let me just play what I think they're about to do, you know.
So,
So
oh my God.
yeah.
Yes, I love it.
I actually went after that, I was driving home, I was like, you know what? I don't know what these people are doing. I was like, I don't know what these people are doing. I don't know if this is something I want to get hooked up with. You know, not like, you know, just saying because I
But
was
no,
like,
I mean, I get it. It
this is
was
a weird
rough,
situation. Yeah.
rough
Yeah.
going.
But I think it was more so just the experience at the, you know, at that show or whatever that kind of added to the fact. It was like, this is
Well, because you didn't know me from Adam's House Cat. I mean, you know, how could you have known? You know,
yeah. But no, but I always go back to that first conversation we had. I knew something was there. Like I could see that, you know, the heart is there. You know, you're not, you don't have an ego in the game. It's just like, hey,
no reason
I
to.
think, I think I have been given the ability to do this.
And it truly is. It's a
Yeah,
gift. Yes,
yeah,
it
and you
really
can
is.
reach people on a different level. You know, it's not, you're not a standard band leader. You're not a standard singer. Like this is my style. I'm not gonna conform. You
Man,
know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I feel like
man.
you've established that home at Skylark. And the first time I sat in and played Skylark with you all. I was like, these people love this lady. Like it's like these people love this lady. Like let me see what this is about. You know, let me
Yeah,
see if I can help this move along. So
yeah.
you
Well, we
know,
appreciate
that's
it.
it's kind of
I'm
yeah.
glad you took a chance. Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thanks for having me.
You bet.